An Akron man who terrorized half a dozen women in the 1980s could be released in 1 month. NewsChannel 5's Homa Bash digging into how it's possible for a convicted serial rapist to potentially be let out of prison. Homa.
Lee, Willie Lagway was sentenced to a minimum of more than 100 years in prison, but that was during a time when even those types of sentences were eligible for parole. That's not possible anymore, but it doesn't help the 6 victims that are forced to relive his crimes.
You do not forget something that happened of this magnitude.
This is one of Willie Lagway's victims, one of 6 women he terrorized over a 5-day crime spree in 1983. She asked not to be identified.
I'm very fearful that he may be released.
Convicted of rape, kidnapping, and aggravated robbery, Lagway was sentenced to a minimum of 109 and up to 375 years in prison. He has served more than 3 decades, but for the second time in 5 years, he's eligible for early release.
Under the old system, even when you got a sentence of over 100 years, you were still eligible for parole hearings after a certain amount of years.
The law has since changed, called truth in sentencing, but doesn't apply to Lagway's prison term.
I do not think he's been rehabilitated at all.
Which is why Summit County Prosecutor Sherry Bevan Walsh is on a mission to keep Lagway locked up. Her office created an online petition urging people to write to the parole board. So far, it's gathered nearly 1,700 signatures.
I do firmly believe that the parole board pays attention to the feelings of our community and how strongly they oppose somebody being paroled.
Lagway goes in front of the parole board on February 13th, and the prosecutor promises to fight back if he is recommended for release. I spoke with the parole board today about the likelihood of that release. They tell me each case is evaluated on an individual basis. He was denied back in 2010. Homa Bash, News Channel 5.